2, 1. Welcome back to episode 2 of the One Shot Podcast. We're still your unnamed hosts, and today we're going to talk about
how we make our statues.
How do we make our statues?
It's pretty easy.
Is it? We print a picture of what we want to make.
Yeah.
And put it in the microwave.
14 seconds.
And boom. There it is.
Like magic.
It is. So if you guys are interested in something like that, please enjoy the episode. Grab yourself a drink, because it might be a bit of a long one. Hopefully you learned something.
Hopefully. Maybe not, but
Yeah,
maybe you already know everything.
Yeah, they already know. So before we get into all that, let's just do a quick sponsor real fast, because this whole episode is going to be about the sponsor.
Yeah.
So this is where the episode is brought to you by us, Crystal Forge. You can find us at crystalforge.company.site.
And we make custom 3D printed resin statues of Final Fantasy characters. We do Warrior of Light as well as other characters like Graha.
We have Graha?
Yeah, he's new. We have Medion, Loporits, and others. Just look at the website.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you're interested, please check us out on there. Or if you can, leave us a comment, like, or a share on this video. It'll really encourage us to keep sharing knowledge in our secrets and the magic. I would want to keep that pretty short. Boom, that's the sponsor.
Thank you, sponsor.
Thank you, sponsors. All right, let's talk about it. Okay, so you had a disclaimer before we go into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, so quick
details.
Disclaimer, this is not a step-by-step tutorial. These statues are really difficult to make.
They're pretty hard.
Yeah, and it takes hours and hours. We wouldn't be able to show every step.
Yeah, this would be I don't know.
Be
multiple 10, maybe not 10 parts, but hours and hours of streaming and
it would
showing you and it's not impossible, but there are videos and tutorials, hundreds probably, of them out there. So maybe we could point to the direction of what those are, and again, it'll help you along the process of making these yourself.
Yeah.
And we're kind of doing this to be not to gatekeep all this knowledge.
But we love gatekeeping.
These are kind of a fun thing we're doing on the side to make, it's obviously to make some extra cash, but we don't want to gatekeep.
It's also just fun.
Yeah.
Interesting to do.
It's like a fun project, and I want it to be more of honestly, anybody could do it.
Yeah.
Well,
you just
maybe
gotta put in the time. I think they can do it.
But yeah, we're kind of, obviously doing this to kind of support ourselves a little.
Yeah.
But also, we're not reliant on these statues to survive. So hopefully, it'll help you guys do that. Is that good? Are you good with that disclaimer?
Yeah, I think
it's not a tutorial.
We've been disclaimed.
It will be a lot of yapping.
Yeah. A lot of whining about how much we hate 3D.
Maybe. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's start
step one?
What is step one? Okay, maybe I'll play the role as someone who does not know how to do any of this.
Okay, so what would you imagine step one to be?
I don't know. I just log into Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah. So step one, I think pretty obvious. You need references.
Oh yeah, true.
Your character.
I don't even know how to make them.
You need pick your outfit, pick a pose.
Okay. Let's also should we do this in the way of like making a custom character, or should we pick a character?
I think either one, like they're kind of the same process.
Okay.
But maybe custom character, because I think that's what people want. Okay.
Okay. So yeah. So let's
yeah.
just imagine your warrior of light in the game. Pick out your outfit.
Pick the outfit.
You guys already love doing that.
Yeah. Pick the pose, and then you might think you just start sculpting. You look at the picture and you sculpt.
How do I even sculpt?
Yeah. Exactly. You don't know. You have no idea yet.
Anything.
And it's like starting from scratch. It will be really difficult.
Well, okay. Before we even do that, should we even list out the programs you'll need?
Oh yeah, I guess we should.
Okay.
Okay. So the first program is Texttools.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You're gonna go.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Using mods is like good for reference. So we're using Texttools for reference.
Okay, and then we use Blender. I think that this is like the general pipeline, right? If you want to do anything 3D related with FF, it's Texttools and Blender.
Yeah.
Even if you're making animations and whatnot, and even I think anything 3D, I see people ripping assets from like other games too, and they import it into Blender.
They make their own skins and stuff.
Yeah. And then from Blender we go into
Zbrush, but
scary word.
Yeah, that's a scary. Zbrush is really expensive, so you could also use Blender.
Oh yeah, you could
if you
use
don't
Blender,
have Zbrush, but it's a little bit more difficult.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. The thing with a Blender is it has so many things in there. While ZBrush is more focused on sculpting.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, it's possible in Blender.
Yeah, definitely possible.
But we don't know how to use it.
Oh yeah, we don't know how.
All the stuff we're talking about, there's going to be a million tutorials already. And maybe once we get to these steps, we can maybe pinpoint more specifically. And again, I'm sorry we're making you guys sit through a podcast, but maybe we'll have like the little timestamp nonsense in the videos. So maybe it's a little bit easier. You could just skip to the section you want to listen about.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we're kind of a bit all over the place already.
Yeah.
This whole process is all over the place.
Yeah, and starting is like a big deal.
It's a bit of a big deal. Okay, so let's go back.
Go back.
I'm just logged in the game.
Yeah,
I'm picking out my outfit that I want to sculpt.
So you pick out everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I'm taking screenshots of my character with the references. I mean...
Yeah, honestly, you don't even need the screenshots.
It does matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
But...
It's more importantly you get the pieces of the gear and their name right.
Yeah.
Right? So you want to get all the names of each piece of the gear. And then you want to open up Texttools.
Yes. And you want to search.
Hopefully you guys know what that is. Just, again, Google.
Google's your
Google
friend.
Texttools. I'm sure they all know. They're all using mods.
Using it.
Yeah, they're all using mods. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, this also works for mods, by the way. Like,
sure.
If you have mods on your character, this will also work.
I do not condone mods.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course. Mods are great. I love mods. So yeah, Texttools. Find everything, all your pieces.
Yeah, the face, the hair.
Oh yeah, you do need to do all that.
It's kind of annoying finding it.
Oh yeah, it is. Cause just I don't know. However they are set up in the game files, crazy.
Yeah,
So it might take you a few hours.
I know, you might have to look some stuff up, like what number is my hair?
Yeah. Okay, I guess disclaimer for the disclaimer already.
Yeah.
There's just going to be a lot of, especially if it's your first time, you're going to be looking up a lot of stuff.
Yes, this is not a one-day project. Yeah. This is like a month-long project, or even longer if you're new.
This is maybe, would you say this is a savage or an ultimate prog?
I think this is an ultimate prog. It's a lot.
It's a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So, boom. Let's say you magically know how to use Texttools now. You looked up information. And this is,
this is already a lot.
Excuse me. So I think you look up every single piece, right, you want, and you add it to, like, the FMV model viewer in Texttools or something like that.
Yeah, the viewport thing.
Yeah, so you want all your pieces in the viewport.
Yes.
And then you export that into what file? I have no idea.
I think Texttool uses an FBX file.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's something with F, I remember.
Yeah. Oh, also...
Yeah, am I forgetting something already?
I don't think you can add the weapon. You have to, like, separately export the weapon by itself. Yeah. So, if you want the weapon, do it separate.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Weapon, anything extra. So we're just strictly talking about the character, like the hair, the faces, the ear.
Yeah, ears, tail.
Yeah, all like the stuff your character wears.
Yeah.
Right? So boom, export it.
Exported.
And again, we're saying, oh yeah, but we know there are tutorials out there. Yeah. We've used them, so you just Google it.
Yeah. The tutorials are also like hour-long videos.
Yeah, so we can't
go into too much detail
on a podcast. At least. Will we ever do it in the future? Who knows?
I don't know. We get bored, maybe.
Maybe if there's really not much content. But yeah, okay. So
you have your.
We have a file. Now what?
Yeah. Now what? You need to put it in Blender, unfortunately.
Blender's, if you gotta know what please know what Blender is. Download Blender. It's free, luckily.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you import it into Blender.
Yes.
And it's gonna look
crazy.
Pretty crazy already.
It's gonna have no textures. It's gonna be gray.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna look awful. It's gonna look super ugly.
Mm-hmm. I'm already giving up.
Yeah, it's like they look super low poly, like old game graphics.
Oh yeah. It's okay. So it's in Blender.
Yeah.
I'm just like, my mind is, I'm like, so many steps I'm trying to remember.
I know.
Cover.
It's a
make
lot.
sure I go over.
So maybe we explain why it needs to go in Blender. Like, why wouldn't you just export it from the game and print it?
Okay. So why for me, right?
Yeah.
Again, when we first started doing this, I'm like, I don't know. And then I started looking up videos on YouTube, and again, luckily there are some videos on YouTube. Yeah, maybe I'll put it in the description box or whatever of all the videos, but maybe not. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. Of this guy kind of explaining and processing everything in Blender.
Yeah.
So again, a kind of a reason why we even go through this Blender step instead of just modeling everything from like we're not modeling everything. We can model everything from scratch.
Yeah, we can, but
it's going to be even more hours and hours of
totally unnecessary
modeling. So we want to use the assets from Texttools, import it to Blender, but boom, in Blender everything. If you guys don't know this, all the assets, visual assets in Final Fantasy, and probably in like most games. I know in like WoW too. And they're all just flat planes.
Yeah. So like what that means is like imagine a cube. You see the front, back, sides, top, bottom.
Yeah.
But a plane, you look at the plane, you see it. If you turn it, the back is invisible. It doesn't exist. So if you were to print that, you can't because it doesn't exist.
Well, yeah, I think you're getting into like what's it called? Alpha planes or something, or
yeah, it's
front plane. I'm not even talking about that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like
but
like it would be impossible to just print from the game because it's not like a real thing.
Yeah, like you're gonna be printing a piece of paper, and some of these pieces of papers are invisible.
Yeah, so it's like the printer will not know what to do. It will just fail, and you need to make it solid.
I'm gonna go with another disclaimer again. We're gonna be using a lot of like, modeling jargon or like a lot of terms.
Yeah, we'll try to explain it, but
but hopefully you guys could get like a general understanding.
Yeah.
Of what we're talking about. I don't think it's that complicated.
It's not. If you look at it, you kind of get what's going on.
It's basically FF14 housing. So yeah, everything in the game is just kind of flat plane. It's like maybe a better way to describe it is like it's origami. But in a way,
it really is. Like,
everything is like folded into the shape of a character. Like the armor, the cloth, the hair, even. And then what they do is they like project a mapping onto these planes. To like get you the visual detail or to make something look more 3D.
Yeah, it's like they're cheating. They're tricking you and thinking like they'll add a belt, but it's not really modeled on. It's just like
again, just imagine a piece of paper wrapped around your character.
Yeah.
But again, they project this image onto it to make it look 3D.
Yeah, but if you like erase the color and everything, it will just be like flat nothing.
Yeah. So imagine if you want to 3D print that or even go off of that. You're not gonna be able to. Again, you might be able to, but like printing that is pretty awful.
And it will look bad too.
Yeah, it just might not even print.
Yeah, I think
so. Yeah, there is a video on YouTube that I used that kind of shows you how to solidify and make these planes into somewhat usable things.
Make them actual 3D so they have sides on every side.
Right, so again, now we're turning a piece of paper into, again, something with a little bit more dimension.
Yeah.
Right? Oof, I'm already exhausted.
I know. Already doing that might take you several days.
If it's your first time doing it, for sure. Again, it's not hard, but it's just a lot of like clicking around, watching hours and hours of tutorials, and trying to follow what exactly they're trying to do.
Yeah.
But it's all out there.
Yeah. So now you have your model in Blender.
Okay, they're still, T-posed.
Oh yeah, right? Yeah, they come in T-posed.
Yeah, they're T-posed with like, okay, so they're you go through every piece of gear, every thing you want to print, and make them more solid.
Yeah, more solid. Yeah. Add more polygons.
Mm-hmm. We're using the example of a belt earlier. So just imagine like a flat piece of paper wrapped around, and now it's like a tube.
Yeah, tube.
Shaped like a belt wrapped around your character.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know, it's complicated. Like using the textures to project onto the model so the belt shows up, or like even the texture of like leather or something. We do that in Blender too.
Well, we do, like I guess some of like the creases and stuff, you could project the files you get from Texttools onto it to kind of add more dimension to the
and
details to it already. But even
then some of it looks awful.
Some of it looks really rough.
Some of it's okay, usable.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to test it.
Yeah.
What is it called? Like
what?
There's like solidify.
Oh yeah, solidify. I think subdivide.
Yeah, subdivide, and what's the last one?
Displace.
Oh yeah, displace.
And you kind of have to do them in those orders too. So you kind of do that. Hopefully, your computer is okay. My computer chugs, and I feel like I have a beefy setup. But
don't subdivide it too much, or your computer will explode.
Because that's the first hint on this video.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Tips and tricks. But so now you have, again, we're jumping back. You have a model with somewhat 3D features.
A little bit of detail.
T-posed. They're T-posing, or I think they T-pose or just like stiff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to change that.
Unless you guys want.
If you want T-pose, it will be easier, but
I'm pretty sure
they want pose.
Okay.
And if you want to pose, your model needs bones. So it will be able to like move.
Yeah.
So just think of like human bones, joints. It's kind of the same thing, where you'll be able to like rotate the arm based on the joint. And there are add-ons for Blender that auto import the bones.
Right. There's like
for Final Fantasy
one
characters.
Or two.
Yeah, there's like a few.
I don't even know. Do we even need the bones now? Because I don't think we've used the bones.
Yeah,
if you want a super specific pose,
you're gonna have to do bones. But you can also get a pose and import the pose.
So
and
you could get the pose from like, again, a lot of third-party tools.
Yeah.
You could use like what people use for G-pose, the animesis.
Oh right.
You could pose it in the game, export the pose,
and then import
it into Blender, which again, there's like an add-on for Blender.
Yeah.
That like takes the pose, or you just like upload the pose and kind of take what skeleton there are already on the model, and it kind of poses them. It's kind of it's
kind of sketchy. It's sketchy.
Your model could blow up.
Oh my god, yeah. Sometimes they explode, and it's because whatever bones you're using doesn't work with the pose.
Yeah, especially like when we first started. I think the mods for Blender are still like, there's like kind of not rough, but you know, you need to do like a specific skeleton because Mikotes have different skeletons from Vieira's and Rothgars and Lalav. So, but I think now it kind of automatically does. A lot of it is like kind of more straightforward.
Yeah.
And if like if your model explodes when you put the pose file onto them, hopefully it's not too bad.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. But you're gonna have to like click through around. A lot of this is trial and error. Crying, yeah, for sure. Like, I remember I spent like a whole evening, like 4 hours, when other people were watching a movie.
Oh my
I was
God,
like trying to figure out this pose. It didn't work all evening. And then the next morning, I, clicked around differently, and boom, the pose worked.
It magically works.
Yeah.
No idea why. But I'm
taking it. So it gets a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Already. So fingers crossed. Hopefully you pray to Heidelin and everything is okay.
Yeah.
Your character
looks pretty in the pose.
Is posed. And maybe the face exploded or the hair exploded. It's okay.
Yeah, don't worry about the hair.
If 90% of it is okay, you can probably salvage it in some way. Right?
Yeah, and if like some parts are a little weird, like the fingers, you can like manually repose them yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot of like maybe self-fix aspects of Blender you'll need to do. But yeah, it's like rotate some things and
it's not hard. It's just tedious and like time consuming.
Okay. Yeah. And if something is really, this is what I want. If something is really messed up, you could just delete it and just import that. Like, say the head explodes or something. Just delete the head and import it.
Oh, yeah.
And then fix it on its own. And you could somehow, if you know enough, you magically know Blender now or Zbrush, you could somehow kind of fit it on to whatever pose or rotate things to make them work. Surgery, yeah.
Take the old head, put it on the new body.
Exactly. Hopefully you guys could like somewhat follow along. I know you need some kind of like maybe art background to understand, and hopefully we're kind of explaining it in a way where you could picture it in your head.
It's a starting point.
Yeah. But I think if you have any kind of like 3D or art background, they're following, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I'm just like I don't want to This episode is already so niche. I don't want it to be like super technical.
True. But it's like hard not to.
So once you have all that established pose, nothing exploded, everything's a bit more in solid form instead of origami plane form.
Yeah.
At this point, you could already print it.
Yeah, it will print.
Yeah, but like we said, a lot of these assets will still look really rough.
Yeah, especially the hair.
Mm-hmm. The hair for sure. And then there's like stuff on like the buttons, the belt buckles.
Oh yeah, they're not gonna be there.
They'll be there, but some of it's like floating.
Oh yeah, true.
Floating, or or they won't be there, or again, it just looks really rough. Like maybe a triangle shape is like more of like you want it to be like really sharp corners, but it'll be like really rounded and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then they'll be floating, so you'll have to kind of mess with some things to make them closer if you want, and boom, you could print it already like that.
But we want it to look perfect.
Yeah, if you want to go into the next step, all this may be extreme level.
Yeah,
this extreme difficulty.
All of this is very doable.
Now we're going into the savage ultimate prog.
Yeah.
Of it all. So boom, if all that's good, just print it. If it's you like it, print it. If you could fix it more in Blender, by all means go.
Yeah.
And again, you could fix a lot of this stuff in Blender, but we just, don't have too much background in Blender.
Yeah, I learned Zbrush, and I can't.
Yeah, and I know more like Zbrush stuff, a little bit of knowledge. So yeah, it would have taken us even longer to learn a million Blender tutorials to translate what little we know or what little I knew from Zbrush into Blender terms.
Exactly.
And for you too, you have to
relearn,
translate where's this stuff from Zbrush into Blender. But you could for sure fix this in Blender, and you don't need an even crazier program.
Yeah, you don't need it.
Yeah.
But Zbrush will make your life easier.
Again, it's just focused on sculpting.
Yeah.
And yeah. Blender, again, it's great, but it has like so many different tabs. Like Blender has an all-in-one program. It has like, I'm sure, I don't know, Zbrush might have it, but Blender has like, you could animate stuff, you can draw stuff, you could sculpt, you could do like everything in Blender.
Yeah.
So for us, we just stripped it all away and just wanted to focus on sculpting.
Yeah.
So we kind of opted into getting ZBrush. Yeah. And unfortunately, we're not going to gatekeep
the
information, but ZBrush is a little kind of a wall, a little paywall moment.
Like a huge paywall moment.
But there is a free trial. We did our first statues within the free trial period.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah. If you can see them on the video. Oh, yeah. These two we did on the free trial.
It's like 14 days. So it's kind of more than a week.
Yeah.
But
so it's possible.
ZBrush not a sponsor.
I know. I wish they were.
No, that'd be crazy. But yeah, so if you want, you might want to get the free trial, or somehow if you already have ZBrush, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
And yeah, 14 days. Oof, if you want to fit all this in, if you have no knowledge, 14 days, you're going to have to make this like, you're going to have to invest a lot more hours watching tutorials. But again, still doable.
Yeah, it's still doable.
I think we barely knew. We didn't know that much. I mean,
I know.
You knew a lot, but, you know, for these like kind of first statues, we were able to make them as good as they are, but we did run into so many things that
many problems.
We're now like, oh, this is how we should properly do it.
Yeah.
But the first 14-day trial, we kind of shanked as much knowledge as we knew and from these tutorials into being able to make these work.
Yeah. There were a lot of failed prints with these.
Oh yeah, there were. Okay, so if you know Blender, you know how to fix all this stuff that we're gonna go into next, by all means. But we do like using a sculpting program for this next big chunk we're gonna tackle. Okay. Oof. I already gave up at this point.
But this is the fun part. Like,
yeah, don't give up.
Yeah, to me, Blender is the bad part. Yeah. Zbrush is the good part. So if you can honestly, make it there, ZBrush, it's like not
again,
too
if
bad.
You're just going, I think ZBrush is the more fun part.
Yeah.
It's more of the art aspect of it. So, let's just from the get-go, if you are planning to like print these, 3D print these, you would want them to be watertight.
Yeah.
That is a mistake.
That is a huge mistake we made on the first ones. And like, what it means is like, even though you made it solid in Blender, it's not like completely solid. It's still hollow.
Right.
But
it's just like, it's like a shell.
Yeah, like a shell, exactly. And
so again, like, let's just take the head for example, right? It's a head, like a head. But the inside is hollow, but like the origami part is like there's a little bit of a wall there.
Yeah. So
but everything head empty.
Yeah, head empty. And like it will print, but the thing is that when these things are hollow like that, like first of all they can break and it will fail. But second of all, hollow, the resin can get stuck inside. So then like the outside is hard, but there's like water on the inside, and that's like a kind of a health hazard moment.
Right. Okay. So if you would imagine you're printing this, like the head, the body, the legs, and they're all like kind of joined together at this point, right?
Yeah.
And then you print each. I mean, you can, unless you want like holes to drain all of this. I mean, we're resin printing. What if they filament?
Oh yeah, filament print maybe is like probably okay.
So you want to drain all this, the toxic resin out, but then you're gonna have multiple holes in your final thing that you're gonna have to fix. Plus,
it's like less stable.
It's a bit, less stable.
When you sand it, it's like, it could be too thin, it will break. So you really want it to be like totally solid.
Totally solid. And there's another thing. So again, when you import these Blender files of your character into ZBrush or a sculpting program, there's going to be like invisible planes that will, if you don't like seal everything and make everything watertight, these invisible planes will, again, crash your computer. It will make your computer explode. And again, I have no idea how exactly or why that is, or why.
Yeah, I don't know what
they even exist. But again, like, it's just the nature of taking files from like one thing and filtering. Yeah,
they get
you're
like,
gonna end up with like a lot of these, like, again, I don't even know why. They're literally invisible. You cannot, like, you could import it. You don't see anything, but they're gonna be there.
Yeah.
And they're gonna destroy
everything. They will make your life horrible.
Yeah.
And you won't know why.
Yeah, you won't know why because they're invisible.
Yeah, you can't see.
So, and they will be on the inside hollow part. Yes. Or like one of the walls will have like an invisible thing, and you can like, you know, mold things. You start molding things in Zbrush and you're like, what the heck is going on? And you'll see like weird shapes happening everywhere. It's just a nightmare.
Pretty crazy.
So watertight part will fix that for the most part. There'll still be kind of some like smaller areas, but you could fix those more. And
yeah. Should we talk about how to make it watertight? Just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Again, we're not gonna it doesn't take that much time, but it is still like we're kind of taking a 20-minute tutorial and like putting it into maybe a sentence or two.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so making it watertight, basically, okay, in Zbrush there's something called Dynamesh. Yeah. And what it does is it will take it will take the geometry, rearrange it, it will close holes. It will close holes and delete like floating geometry that's not connected. Yeah. So that will delete like the invisible stuff.
I just click it and I know.
Like, you don't really need to know. You just need to
click. I do know what you're saying, but
yeah.
For the most part, just click it. And then, you know, we're kind of shortening this 20-minute concept tutorial concept into like, but you know, you want to kind of keep the resolution the same, and
do not have like a 50 million.
And then you want to make sure that you don't have so many polys. But again, hopefully the tutorials you're using will
hopefully they you can fix it.
I have no idea how to do this in Blender.
But
I'm sure there's a way.
I'm sure there's a way. But I feel like
I you know what, I did look up how to unhollow things in Blender.
Oh yeah.
And
there's a way.
And again, you just have to somehow kind of slam. This is all just slamming your head against the wall until it works.
It works, and it says
watertight. So far, we're like, we haven't ran into anything too crazy.
Not too bad. This stuff usually easy.
Hopefully, pretty straightforward. So once everything's are we good? Watertight.
Yeah.
Dynamesh. Yeah.
Close holes.
Yeah.
And weld points.
Weld points. Yeah. And these are things you just kind of click and the program will.
Yeah, it does it by itself. You don't need to do too much.
And this is just to, again, kind of resolve some of the resin mechanics. And kind of make your life a bit easier.
Yeah. I also forgot one thing, is that they want to inflate the model a little bit. So you're like making it fatter so it's thicker. Just so when it prints, if there's like a cape or something, the cape is like thicker. I don't know.
It's just, again, some of it you just have to do a lot of research on your own to fix a lot of these things. But Inflate is a really good tool in in ZBrush to fix some of like after you click the watertight and Dynamesh, you'll still have some broken areas, so you want to...
It will help fix it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Man, I don't know if this part's even important, but you also want to just, like, at this point, like, organize. Like, organize and separate. You're going to have so many, like, pieces once you import your dude into the next program. Or even, you know, in Blender, I think you need to separate everything. Like, every button, every shoulder pad, every belt.
Yeah, do not combine them.
Yeah.
Have them separate as possible.
Keep everything as organized as possible.
Yeah.
I think that's really important.
Yeah, otherwise it will be a nightmare. Yeah. Working with it.
So once again, it's like so much. Once you've watertight every single piece, there might be dozens, right?
Yeah, this will take you a while.
But
it's not hard.
But this is not. You just click it and make sure everything. And maybe you want to like, again, move some things around, like the buttons if they're floating too off in the distance. You could also...
Oh, yeah. Now's the time to move them.
More or less, yeah. All right.
So
now everything's watertight. In the notes, I have like the next thing, like cleanup.
Yeah.
I guess that's what you meant by like inflating.
Yeah, just making sure no holes, nothing. You can like smooth stuff.
Oh yeah, you can like smooth stuff. Like, what is it called? Like, it's smooth, right?
Yeah, just smoothing.
I was gonna say blend for some reason.
No blending.
Yeah. Smooth stuff. Do you want to drop the damn standard brush in?
Here we go. Time for after everything's watertight, smooth and ready. It's finally time to sculpt.
Yeah.
And in ZBrush, sculpting is just like drawing on the model.
Sure.
And 99% of this is using the damn standard brush.
For sure.
So yeah, sculpt. Okay, what you want to think is that sculpting it is easier than painting it after you print it. So if there's a pattern, you want to sculpt the pattern on the clothes or the character because it will make painting easier.
You're talking about like physically painting it in real life? Yeah,
physically. Because it's pretty small in real life. So if you want to...
It depends on how big they print it.
Yeah, it depends also how like not shaky your hands are, but it is easier to sculpt it on the designs, patterns, texture.
And unfortunately we cannot fit a whole sculpting course.
No.
So we're just, it's all out there. I don't know, I feel maybe I should stop saying it at this point. But we use damn standard, move topological.
Yeah.
Inflate.
Smoothing, brush.
And then like at this point, there's like a lot of brushes you could even download.
Yeah, there's
free or paid.
Yeah, like if you have belts, bows, buttons, there are brushes where you just click and drag and it will just put it on for you.
So again, why it takes so long is because, again, you could keep a lot of these assets that you started out initially even from Texttools into Blender. But to us, they just look not good enough.
Not very clean.
So we that organization part, we kind of pick and choose what will work in the final print and what won't.
Yeah.
and we will go and delete a bunch of stuff and remake a bunch of stuff. Sometimes from scratch, sometimes, you know, there's brushes that you could just like a belt brush.
Yeah, belt brush. But sometimes like Graha, he has all these necklaces. I had to make them from scratch because there's it took forever.
A lot of it isn't too difficult, but it just takes a lot of time.
Yeah. And you will be resculpting like a lot.
Yeah. That's like, again, the kind of, you know, we're kind of sharing all this, but a lot of it is a lot of work and time.
It is. Yeah. I don't know. Especially like, I don't know, the shoes and the legs to me usually look okay. They don't need that much work. The torso is always a nightmare.
Yeah.
It always
everything
has
above
holes.
the
It's
waist.
Awful. The head takes a long time.
Even the belts aren't so bad.
Yeah, belts, whatever, they're fine. But like, fixing like sleeves, coats, jackets,
like
that's
random shoulder pads.
Yeah,
with, like,
shoulder pads with designs. Yeah,
on it.
Like you have to add the engravings on it.
Yeah,
they're not just gonna come looking good. You have to fix it.
Yeah.
And then the face, like you have to add eyelashes. You have to add eyebrows.
Oh yeah,
like
I mean,
they don't come with those on
getting
it.
Into the face. The face is also, it just becomes more like every step of this is like a phase in a fight. I don't know. It's like its own little fight that you have to. So we like to break it up into leg shoes, torso day, head day,
and then
hair day, hands.
Yeah.
So just, it's okay. It's gonna take a while unless you're already a ZBrush natural.
Yeah.
Or a ZBrush expert or a Blender expert. And even then, you know, I'm sure it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Because that's just, again, nature of making anything art related, anything 3D, anything of this kind of nature.
Yeah. It's like you want it to be perfect. Yeah. You just keep working forever.
Yeah, it just takes time. And if you don't want to do it, please check out our web. Check us out. Please support us.
We'll save you a lot of time.
We'll save you a lot of headaches.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And, you know, unfortunately, it takes so much time that, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like some of these things, like the hair. I've done it like so many times. And it still takes like 8 hours to make like hair for one character.
Yeah. Again, I want to be like kind of humble. Like, we're not awful at 3D. We're okay. It's not like we're bad and we're taking 8 hours.
No, I think that's just how it is. 3D is like very time consuming.
And we're not like experts that we're like, let's knock this out in an hour.
I know. I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't know if you can, but you know, it's also just the more you do, you will get faster.
Yeah.
It was way faster. We do it way faster now than it took us to do these original. Like these took us like, again, every like 2 days to just figure, like a day to figure out how to do it with what we already know, and then another day to just kind of like all day just tackling and how are we gonna do this? How are we gonna make it work?
Yeah, we didn't even start yet.
Oh, man. Like it is crazy. Okay, so you wanna get into now the hair of it.
Okay, yeah.
So let me just say, importing the hair from Blender into ZBrush or whatever, the hair just doesn't look. Again, it's just like weird blobs with like
it's
shapes,
awful.
Like the texture of the hair, or you know how they project the image onto the hair.
Yeah.
That it's just like a blob with the projected thing onto it. And it's just,
it does not even
again, you could print it like that. It'll be okay, but
it looks awful.
We would want to fix it up a bit more.
Yeah, so to me it's like so awful that I don't even use it. I delete it.
Yeah. It's gotten to the point where I don't think we can really, we don't want to use the blob.
No, it's like
I think I used the blob on this guy, but I still like used a lot of brushes to kind of,
I remember,
to make it not blobby.
Yeah.
But on yours, you like,
it's like
found this hair tutorial, learned it, and just kind of went in and re-sculpt everything.
Yeah.
Like, I'm already tuning out.
I know. It's already.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. So we want to resculpt the hair.
Yeah, it's
the whole thing from scratch. So what you need to do, I'm
not
gonna explain detail, but like
there's so many different tutorials, different ways to do it. But yeah, if you want to level up your statue to the next level, you would want to resculpt the hair.
Yeah. And
the fun part about it is, again, now, sorry, I'm interrupting, but like, now you can resculpt your hair in however way you want. You could, kind of follow what the game kind of has, but you could like make it flowing or
you can
crazy,
do whatever.
You could,
Yeah.
You could style it after a hair that's not in the game.
That's what I did. I didn't like my hair, so I made up one.
I gotta report that to
no,
Yoshi
it's not even a mod. It's just a sculpture.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're resculpting the hair.
Yes.
It takes a while.
Yeah, it's the most like probably time-intensive part of the whole thing, because like it's not like you're doing every piece of hair, but it's like you're doing like every chunk of hair for the whole head.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and it involves like using noise maps.
Sure, that's maybe a little bit too technical, but essentially it's just kind of putting texture.
Yeah, exactly. It's like instead of sculpting all the strands of hair yourself, carving them out, it does it for you.
It kind of, again, like the projecting more detail onto.
But you have to like do it for every strand you add. So it's like clicking through
that's
all
how
the
you
menus.
Do it. I'm sure that somebody has an easier way.
I don't know. I don't know. Even looking at like professional statues, I feel like their hair looks awful because they don't know how to do it.
Oh yeah, again, some of them they cheat and just use like a chunk.
Yeah.
And just draw some lines in there.
Yeah, but it's
But if you wanted to have that like FF look.
Yeah, then.
Yeah. Or at least how they have it in the game. Again, in the game, it's just like all planes with like a projected image of all these strands and.
Yeah, alphas.
Yeah, like. But if you want to 3D print.
Yeah, you can't 3D print it. You have to resculpt.
Kind of resculpt a lot of it.
Yeah.
Is that all you want to say about the hair? Again, you're like the hair master.
Yeah, it's like there's hair brushes you can use to help you. There's like a lot of resources out there for the hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have some like brushes. And if you really want, you could just like, I'm sure somebody's modeled entire hairdos and you could just like shape it onto your hair. But then, it becomes like finding the right one that somebody made for free that you could download and that you could
and the problem is also like making sure they're solid.
Oh, okay.
That's like the main problem with the hair is like getting it to be actually like watertight solid is very difficult because if it's not, it won't print at all. Like, it will just fail and you'll get nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a lot of this also isn't just foolproof.
No.
Like, you're gonna have to do a lot of testing. Like, you could sculpt a piece of hair, but it might not print, or it might be too thin, or...
Yeah.
So just, go back to that inflate.
The inflate. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I do.
I don't use that.
Okay.
Mine is way too technical.
Yeah,
it's like they're like unwrapped and then it's like UV map thing that fixes it. I'm not gonna explain it, but yeah.
Hopefully you figure it out and you've made it this far. Okay. That wasn't too bad. I thought the hair would, we have more to say.
I mean, I could say more, but it's just like, it's so technical. It would be so boring and like, it won't make sense.
We can't, it would be like an hour long tutorial. Not maybe like 20, 30 minute long tutorial. And then the next, like, extra stuff, you want to kind of, I think, I already mentioned this, but you just want to take inventory of all your pieces at this point and make sure they're up to like the level of quality you want, or detail, or definition.
Yeah.
Resculpt every single one.
Yeah, that's what I do. Like every small detail, and then it prints and you barely see it. I'm like, why did I spend a whole hour on this? You can barely see.
You see them. Now what? We merge everything at this point. Merge what you can. I mean,
yeah, but keep it in parts, like.
Or you want to be saving a lot. Make sure you have like steps. Every stage
for sure. Like, these programs crash.
They crash. You're gonna want to go back to a previous thing because maybe you messed up.
Yeah, you will
on a piece of gear that you just want to go back and just a rule of thumb. It's always good to save infinity times.
Yeah, like for each one, I think I have like over 50 saves each one.
I don't have over 50, but I have a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, you at this point, just you could also put like textures and.
Oh yeah.
Like stamping things, customize the sculpt however you want. Like put like clothing texture or leather texture.
Leather, yeah.
Yeah, we do that. Again, a lot of this is more or less the fun part, but it's just a lot.
It is fun though.
Yeah. So make sure you do all of that, and then you want to. At this point, you want to merge or combine what pieces, like what we do is we combine everything, or at least what I do, everything on the shoe and pants that go together.
Yeah.
Everything on the torso together. At this point, merge all the hair onto the scalp.
Ooh, that's like...
The eyelashes.
Don't do that yet.
Okay, well, I don't, or you don't do that. Yeah. I do that.
Well, the thing is with the hair is like infinity polys, so it will crash if you Boolean.
Sure,
we're getting to that, but don't. Yeah, but
I
everything else, like the hands, the torso, the feet, combine them into pieces. And what you're thinking is that you're not printing it as like one piece, so the whole body, because it would be like not fitting and it might break, fail. So you want it in parts that you like stick together. Like you would stick the head on, stick the arms or the hands in, stick the legs into the torso.
Yeah. I mean, you could risk it and print everything together.
You can try, but I feel like it's a bad idea. Like nobody does it because it's a bad idea.
It will also save you a lot of time if you want to paint it after.
It's easier to paint if they're in pieces.
And you just want to Lego everything together.
Yeah.
So you probably want to like print the head separately, and then the torso, the hands, the legs, figure out the weapon and whatnot.
And the base.
The base,
yeah. Yeah, but then to do that, you need to make like something called Booleans.
Yeah, Booleans.
It's like one side has like a square stick, one has a hole goes in, and they stick together.
Yeah, it's basically Legos. Or if you want to get technical a little bit, a male part and a female part.
Whoa.
The super term for it, the scientific term for it is Boolean.
Yeah.
I mean, like, in electronics, the male part into the female part.
Yeah.
This is what it is. You just kind of, and then it'll make it stay or hold, and then you could glue it together.
Yeah.
Later, or like, like pegs. What's up, like another pegs or joints?
Joints, yeah.
It's not really a joint because you can't
move
rotate it. I mean, you could probably figure it out how to make things into joints, but then you're making a whole like figure, posable figure at that point. Which, again, if you want to take it to that level,
we're not.
That's
doing
awesome.
That.
But yeah, we're not doing that, and again.
Yeah.
Boolean isn't too bad.
I think it is the very worst part of the entire thing. So. I absolutely hate it. It causes me so much pain and suffering. It's horrible.
The thing is, if like, you have kind of something you want to change at this point, it's hard because then you'll have to re-Boolean everything. And
so you don't want to change.
So you want to, a lot of it, you want to, it's kind of, you want to commit a lot, but also keep things flexible enough.
Yeah. But this is also the stage, where you find out your model has problems. It has faces that are backwards or something, and it won't Boolean.
Hopefully not.
But sometimes.
But, again, just the nature of doing something like this, it's like, everything will be a problem and that you can't not predict.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you need a save so you can go back. Get the uncorrupted
hopefully
piece.
They don't. Heidelin is blessing the work.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Maybe Zodiac blessed it. I don't know. Maybe. But yeah. Boolean things.
Yeah.
Make everything fit together.
Yeah.
Boom. Done.
And at that point,
you're probably like bald.
Yeah, you lost all your hair.
You've cried so many times.
Yeah, you can't cry anymore.
Yeah, you're out of
tears.
Do you want to like talk about like Graha was a bit of a nightmare?
Oh yeah, so Graha, we made his pose, but I accidentally flipped it. Yeah. So he had his staff in the wrong hand.
Or like his his sleeve was somehow
on the wrong side. I don't know.
Yeah, then we had to go back and
fix
it took you. Again, I'm sorry, it took you.
It took days to fix it because I was fixing it when it was already done, and that's an awful idea. You need to fix stuff before.
Every little thing, again, if you wanted the sleeve or something on a different side, or
you needed to fix that.
You want to make sure. Because fixing it at a later stage becomes takes longer and longer.
Yeah, and the file corrupts itself and so many problems. I can't even begin to explain the problems. But yeah, if you make it that far,
no, yeah, I mean,
it's kind of pretty much done at that point.
Right now, Graha looks pretty good.
Yeah, he looks
now,
good now.
Like
I fixed
multiple rounds of.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, fixing.
Oh my god, I fixed it like 3-4 times. I don't even know.
But we did it for Graha.
Yeah, now he's like perfect.
Yeah, so. Yeah, but if you made it this far.
Yeah,
you're
almost
pretty
done.
much there.
Pretty much there.
You have what you need.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we missed anything. I'm sure we did. I don't know.
A lot of steps, like.
If you guys have questions, you could always leave it in the comments.
Yeah. But yeah, then you just need to.
Boom, ZBrush done, right?
Almost.
You
need to resize
things.
So you need to put it like in inches. Decide.
Right, however big you want to print it. Yeah, ours is
7.5.
Yeah, for like average size.
Yeah.
Which we find is a pretty, okay size to be printing these guys at. You'll get all your details. The face is a bit hard to paint later on, but it's big enough. Better than painting like a miniature D&D
way
thing,
easier
like
than
whatever.
Minis.
So yeah, you resize it to what you want.
Yeah.
And then put it in the microwave.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, then it goes into like, if you do want to print it, your printer settings.
Yeah, and that's like unique to every printer.
Different for every printer. Yeah, and then press print. Wait 19 hours.
Yeah, really.
And then find out something it failed or we have to change something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's always another fun part.
But hopefully it works.
Yeah, hopefully
it works, and then
boom, a few days you're even more bald and you've somehow managed to find more tears. Then you're finally done.
And then you're ready.
And then boom, you could finally move on to sand, everything else.
Yeah.
At this point, you guys, you have your statue more or less of your character.
Yeah.
And then you could sand,
airbrush,
or whatever you want, prime it, just display it like that.
Yeah. We don't have any secrets about painting.
Yeah, again, we can't fit a whole how to airbrush tutorial.
Yeah. We just kind of airbrush, paint.
Yeah. There's a lot, all that is out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
then you're done.
Is that it?
I think that's it.
Again, I feel like we're missing a lot.
Probably.
Maybe not a lot,
can't
but
fit everything.
We can't. Yeah, we don't. But that's again the general gist.
Yeah, the steps, what you need to research.
Yeah. And it does take a long time. We're fitting kind of weeks worth of content into however an hour and a half long podcast.
Yeah.
Without going into too much too technical or specifics. And again, it's already, I feel like this episode is so niche of a niche.
It is.
within the FF14 sphere that, I don't know, just put it out there. Maybe somebody will find it useful or interesting.
Someone will be inspired to learn 3D.
Hopefully. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very...
Like making one is going through an arc. And yeah, I could go in. There's so much to talk about with like, don't burn yourself out. Take it, slow. You're not rushing.
Yeah.
Don't rush through any of this stuff. Just, make it a project you do over a course. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do this in one day. Yeah. This is like a month,
2
month long project.
Especially if you're just starting out from nothing. And even with, our background, I'm like, making one is very exhausting.
It is.
And like, like I want to make as many as I possibly can, but I just don't know if I mentally or physically. I don't know. That's like a whole tangent right there.
Yeah.
Of how you kind of need to take care of yourself.
Yeah, it's hard because like you start.
But I want to make so many characters, but it takes a lot. And again, hopefully, explaining all this, all the processes, kind of, explain why it takes so long.
Yes.
And it's not just, I want to print this person in the game.
Yeah, and then boom. No, this is like a lot of work.
It's a lot. Ultimate prog, maybe for sure.
Honestly, it's kind of insane to even be doing this.
Chaotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just like the characters so much that we pushed through to do all this.
Yeah, and they turn out so pretty. They look so good.
Every time it's like really rewarding.
Yeah, even the first ones we made, they look really good.
Yeah, we were kind of really proud of it. But now, also now that we've made more, I'm like, I want to go back and make them better.
These. Yeah.
With all the stuff we've learned. But maybe another when we have more of a down period. Yeah. Oof, well, I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I
think we covered
pretty much everything.
Enough. And if you guys do have any questions, please, I don't know how updated or outdated some of this information will be, but we'll try our best to answer whatever in the comments. And if you're just here still and you don't want to make anything, thank you for just sitting and listening to us yap. But I'm not sure how many.
I don't know.
But them are out there.
But we would also be happy to make them for you.
Yeah,
if you listen to this and you're like, no way, I'm not doing that. We will do it for you.
Yeah. So, if you want to help support us, there it is.
Yeah.
Now with that, I think that's good for episode 2. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Hopefully, if this video found you, it's a sign.
It's a sign.
This video will find you at the right time.
Yeah. It's time to get your Warrior of Light custom statue.
No, I'm saying if they want, they're obviously looking for, they're digging their information on how to make it, so they'll find it.
Yeah.
And it's just here.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah, like we'll see you next time, I guess.
Yeah, talk more about the game next time.
Yeah, we'll try to talk more about the game. We just wanted to get this one out there because this is kind of our shtick.
Ask and curious.
Yeah. And instead of answering a million things, we'll just be like, go listen to a 2-hour-long podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll answer questions. Shoot us a message.
Yes.
Email us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully we'll talk about the game and more chill stuff. Great. Yay. Bye. Woo, another episode done.